This is the DREO Smart Tower Fan for bedroom. After spending some time with it, I thought it might be helpful to share what I've noticed so far. The setup was fairly simple. The base needs to be attached, but it did not take me long. Once everything was in place, the fan felt stable on the floor. It has a narrow shape, so it does not take up much space beside my bed or near a desk. I can also move it between rooms without much effort. The controls on top are easy to understand. I can change the speed, select a mode, start the oscillation, and set the timer. There is also a remote, which is what I tend to use at night. I do not have to get out of bed just to lower the speed or turn the fan off. That sounds like a small detail, but it makes daily use more convenient. This model has 8 speed settings. I like having that range because the lower settings feel gentle enough for sleeping, while the higher settings move a noticeable amount of air. The listed maximum air speed is 28 feet per second. I did not measure that myself, but the airflow does reach across my bedroom without needing to place the fan right next to me. I usually keep it around the lower or middle settings. That gives me enough circulation without making the room feel too windy. On warmer afternoons, I use the higher settings for a while to move the air around faster. It does not lower the room temperature like an air conditioner, so that is worth keeping in mind. It mainly helps by creating steady airflow and making the room feel less stuffy. The noise level was one of my main concerns before using it. On the lowest setting, it is very quiet. The product lists a minimum noise level of 20 decibels, though I did not test it with a sound meter. What I can say is that the low-speed sound blends into the background. I can sleep with it running, and it has not bothered me while watching videos or reading. The sound becomes more noticeable as I increase the speed. It is mostly the sound of moving air rather than rattling or mechanical vibration. At the highest setting, I would not call it silent. I can still use it during the day without an issue, but light sleepers may prefer the lower settings at night. The 90-degree oscillation works well in a bedroom or home office. It spreads the airflow across a wider area instead of keeping it pointed at one spot. I use oscillation when I want general circulation. When I am sitting at my desk, I sometimes turn oscillation off and aim the airflow toward my chair. I do wish the oscillation angle were adjustable beyond the standard range. 90 degrees is enough for the rooms where I use it, but a wider range could be useful in a large living room. There is also no vertical tilt, so the direction depends on where the fan is placed. I had to move it a little farther away to get the airflow at the height I wanted. The 4 modes give me a few ways to run it. Normal mode keeps the speed steady. Natural mode changes the airflow to make it feel less constant. Sleep mode is useful at night because it keeps the operation calmer and reduces distractions from the display. Auto mode adjusts the fan based on the room temperature. I mostly use normal and sleep modes. Auto mode can be helpful when the temperature changes during the day, but I sometimes prefer choosing the speed myself. Natural mode feels less direct, although the changing airflow may not be for everyone. I like that the modes are available, but I do not feel the need to use all of them regularly. The timer can be set for up to 8 hours. I often set it before going to sleep, so the fan does not run longer than needed. 8 hours covers a typical night for me. I would still like more flexibility for longer schedules, but the app provides more control if I need to plan when the fan turns on or off. Connecting the fan to Wi-Fi took a little more attention than using the basic controls. It uses a 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi connection, so I had to make sure my phone and network were ready for that during setup. Once it was connected, the app worked as expected. I could change the speed, select a mode, control oscillation, and create a schedule from my phone. Voice control is useful when my hands are busy or when the remote is not nearby. It works with Alexa and Google Assistant. I can ask the fan to turn on or off without walking across the room. I still use the remote more often because it is faster for small adjustments, but the voice option is convenient in certain situations. One concern I had was whether the smart features would be required for basic use. They are not. The fan still works through the buttons and the remote without relying on the app for everyday controls. That matters to me because I do not always want another connected device just to operate a fan. The bladeless style tower design also makes it easier to place around a bedroom. The moving parts are enclosed behind the grille, which feels more practical around children or pets than a traditional open blade fan. It is not literally bladeless inside, though. The blades are simply contained within the housing. Compared with basic tower fans I have used, this one gives me more speed control and runs more quietly at low settings. Some cheaper models have only a few speeds, and the jump between them can feel too large. The 8 levels here make it easier to find a comfortable setting. The trade-off is that this model has more controls and a more involved Wi-Fi setup than a simple fan. If I only needed basic airflow, a less expensive tower fan could do the job. The higher settings also produce enough wind noise that I would not choose them for sleeping. I think this fan makes the most sense for someone who wants quiet airflow in a bedroom, several speed choices, a remote and optional app or voice control. It also suits a home office where steady circulation is useful without a loud motor running nearby. For a very large open room, I would check whether the 90-degree oscillation and fixed vertical direction are enough for the space. My experience has been positive, but I would keep the expectations practical. It moves air well, it is quiet on low settings, and the controls are convenient. It will not replace an air conditioner, and it is not silent when running at full speed. If those limits are acceptable, it is a useful option for regular bedroom or office use. I will leave detailed information about the DREO Smart Tower Fan for Bedroom in the comments for your reference. Thank you for watching.